really risk being in the center too long with HuK pushing forward this aggressively.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to be falling back. Oh, the probe does fall there. Little snipe, little kind of a laugh there as HuK finishes off that probe. And he actually falls back right now. KiwiKaki keeping the control right now of the map, going ahead and warping in 4 more Zealots right now. No sentries actually out by or for either player, so we aren't going to see any force fields on that ramp.
Now, KiwiKaki loves building a pylon down here for an early bust, but it looks like he's just going right up the Immortal, not targeting any of the Zealots, but HuK has so many Zealots of his own, so he is doing a lot of damage at those front lines, and it looks like KiwiKaki wasn't able to bust in, but he still is being very, very aggressive.
And there goes that pylon that you were just talking about, going down right outside the ramp of HuK, and I love this control on those Zealots by KiwiKaki. He's making them take a lot of the damage and then moving them back, making those Zealots work for their shots. And here we go, another push up the ramp, and there's a nice force field. He's going to go ahead and finish off one of those Zealots and one of those Stalkers, and HuK is just going to simply pull back right now. Here comes some more reinforcements from KiwiKaki.
And this is such amazing play by KiwiKaki. He is still doing this all on one gas. It's those key Stalkers in the back and the Zealot reinforcements, and that is a lot of Zealots coming out right now for KiwiKaki, and there's the target fire on the Immortal. HuK is trying to pull it back, but it looks like KiwiKaki somehow is ahead in the unit count, and the Immortal goes down, pushing forward so aggressively, but KiwiKaki not going to play this dumb. He's pulling back, he's reinforcing, he's getting in a good position, and HuK is way on the back foot. He has one Colossus that is almost out, though.
Such great Stalker control there from KiwiKaki, allowed him to go and break that ramp. He's focusing down that pylon. He did get one. If he gets this other one, that's going to be 2 gateways unpowered, and here comes the Colossus.
And the Colossus is out. It is repelling, but 2 gateways down. These 2 gateways are not operational. KiwiKaki is going to try to win this with macro, and macro alone. That Colossus is a huge threat, but he has these fast Stalkers they can walk up. That Colossus is starting to lose life. It's taking main hull damage. It's in the orange, and it falls down. He gets the Colossus. HuK is now in an incredibly tough situation.
Yeah, here comes some more probes being pulled for HuK. This is going to be a very bad situation. Some awesome control from KiwiKaki to go ahead and finish off that Stalker. Actually going to kill a couple probes before doing it. There goes that Stalker down, and HuK is in a very, very bad spot right now.
KiwiKaki using insane micro and constant aggression from 4 gates to just keep pounding this defense, and good game. KiwiKaki wins game 1. Now again, this is an extended series. That does mean that it started 2-1 in favor of HuK, but KiwiKaki by winning that has tied the series up 2-2. So it is now just a regular good old best of 3 to see who will be crowned the champion.
And it looks like HuK will be choosing the next map. Definitely have asked him, and we'll be eagerly awaiting his response. He's got to think about it for a little bit, though, because looks like he's asking which maps are left in the map pool. So.
And then one thing that I think is so amazing about how KiwiKaki played that game is that he pretty much accepted that he was only going to be on one gas the entire game. Too often players get very, very flustered when they lose that initial geyser because their opponent steals it. And they try to do their original game plan. They try to bend their build back with this very late gas, and the end result is just a very, very, very slow game. But what we saw KiwiKaki do is just continue to pump out just Stalkers and Zealots, very, very gas cheap units. And in other words, that gas steal by HuK was just 75 wasted minerals entirely. And I cannot believe the amazing control by KiwiKaki. That was unbelievable how he was able to keep pushing up, keep getting more units, and somehow broke the front.
And it looks like HuK has decided on Delta Quadrant for the next map. Now, Delta Quadrant, one of the new maps in StarCraft 2 here since the release of StarCraft 2, so we are going to be hosting that up, and we are going to be going to a map preview right now.
Delta Quadrant is one of the 2 new maps released at the launch of StarCraft 2 that we have here at MLG Raleigh. It is a 4-player map with spawn points at the 11, 2, 5, and 7 o'clock positions. Natural expansions can be found outside the main bases, towards the middle, with another expansion blocked by destructible rocks down a different ramp from the main. Cliffs behind this expansion make for a great harassment spot. 4 high-yield minerals exist on this map down another ramp to the right and left of the natural expansion. A lone Xel'Naga watchtower sits in the middle of this map.
And here we are going directly into game 2 of the grand finals. Again, this is an extended series, so we are currently tied at 2-2. Whoever wins the next 2 games will be crowned the champion and get that $2,500 first place prize.
All right, so Delta Quadrant, again, like I was saying earlier, one of the new maps what strikes you is the most important thing on this map in the PvP matchup?
Well, we have HuK spawning in the bottom right as the red Protoss. In the bottom left, we have KiwiKaki as the blue Protoss. And I think the most important feature is this backdoor expansion right here where the destructible rocks are. What makes it a little bit weird is that most players will one base, or in other words, they will rely on this one ramp to keep themselves alive, doing whatever they want to do. So with that backdoor expansions, it opens up some possibilities for Protosses to just use force fields to stay alive and eventually get a very, very fast early expansion, something we don't see too much in PvP.
And one of the other things that I really like about this map is a lot of the Protoss players have been utilizing this fact with the destructible rocks at those expansions. If you put a pylon on the outside of the base, you can in fact warp units onto the other side of that building right there.
Yeah, this is an excellent place to place a pylon, and wouldn't be surprised if KiwiKaki tried to pull that one off. We've seen again and again his Stalker Zealot pushing is brutal, and he's able to break seemingly impenetrable defenses with having pylons warp into the opponent's main, and exactly what you pointed out is one of those locations. KiwiKaki and HuK both seem to just be continuing to chrono boost. HuK, interestingly, did a cross-map scout, but now that he's found his opponent is not at the top left position, it looks like he is going to the correct location in the bottom left.
There goes the 13 gate going down for HuK. KiwiKaki is going to be going for a 14 gate. Not too much of a difference, but pretty much, I mean, every little minute detail counts here in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, KiwiKaki being very responsible about chrono boosting a lot. Already under 20 energy, can't even chrono boost again. HuK continued to chrono boost himself, getting also a late gas. Looks like it's going to be a 15 gas. Now, HuK has shown a lot of versatility. He used to just be the player who would only ever chrono boost probes and only ever try to get a big economy in the early game. It does look like he is doing something similar to that this game, but we've seen him suddenly be a lot more aggressive in this tournament and take some amazing wins.
Looks like KiwiKaki had an idle probe there for just a second, but he went ahead and put it back to work, putting probes back into that assimilator and a quick gas.
KiwiKaki stealing the gas of his opponent and taking his own second gas, so this is going to be a big deviation already in the early game.
There's not going to be any counter gas stealing here in this match like we saw in the last one. We do have no units actually coming out of that Go 8. Cybernetics Core has gone down for KiwiKaki, and HuK doing the exact same build right now with the Cybernetics Core going down. But remember, he is only on one gas compared to KiwiKaki's 2 at the moment.
And what's interesting to me is that KiwiKaki is the player who seems to be versatile, who seems to really like utilizing one geyser plays and being aggressive, and HuK is more of the tech-oriented player in this matchup. But it's a funny reversal to see that KiwiKaki is actually the one who has the gas advantage, and it looks like he even waited to put guys in gas. Didn't really need it, just didn't want to get gas blocked himself.
Now, you talked about in Game 1 how it doesn't seem like that probe is chipping away too much at that pylon, but if you go look at the pylon in KiwiKaki's base, he actually got it down to 157 HP. Doesn't seem like much, but if that pylon is going to be focused down later, it's going to have that much less HP to deal with.
And it looks like we have Warp Gate and Hallucination queued up for KiwiKaki. That's very weird that he would queue that Hallucination upgrade up, as that is a waste of 100 minerals at this point and 100 gas. I mean, that's really insanely early to be getting that Hallucination. I mean, he has no reason at all to queue that up.
Yeah, that might have been a misclick, but he might just be trying to throw his opponent off someone. I mean, Hallucination obviously creates a hallucinated unit, and you can kind of hide your tech in that sense. You can show one thing and actually have another. It looks like we do have two Stalkers trading some blows there in the middle of the map. HuK's actually going to be the one retreating as KiwiKaki does get a couple extra shots in.
And it looks like HuK is responding very reasonably by just getting the warp gates first, relying more on Zealots and Stalkers, avoiding the sentries, avoiding the tech structures, and KiwiKaki again adding on more warp gates of his own, but I'm very, very surprised again at how early he's getting this Hallucination. In general, queuing things up is a bad idea in StarCraft 2, because this 100 is minerals that could be spent somewhere else. You should wait until the warp gates finish to start that up.
Yeah, he still has not canceled. It looks like the warp gate research is about to finish, and a Stargate is going to be thrown down from HuK.
Now there is a very unorthodox play in this matchup, getting a fast Stargate. Don't know if he's going to be going for Void Rays, where he's going to be relying on Phoenixes to be those little ninja-esque units, but either way, HuK, again, the master of one basing, doing a lot of expensive action here, having 3 gateways and a Stargate out.
And it looks like KiwiKaki is going to go ahead and allow, oh no, there's the cancel on Hallucination, so I'm glad he saw that. Definitely wasn't going to see any hallucinated units this early on.
So it looks like that was a misclick by KiwiKaki, very uncharacteristic. He generally has quite smooth hands. Apparently the pressure is kind of getting to him in these later stages. And here is HuK with a Phoenix. What an awesome play. Huge variety here.
Yeah, we do have a robotics facility coming down right now for KiwiKaki, and it looks like both armies are going to meet here in the middle of the map.
And it looks like the stalkers from KiwiKaki are sliding underneath. They're going to be able to come up from behind. And look at this, KiwiKaki target firing the stalkers. If he can take out the stalkers, then he can micro against the zealots easily. And look at that, great control by KiwiKaki. And now it is just all stalkers against zealots, and he is doing an amazing, amazing job. And KiwiKaki, again, with the huge pushing with the stalkers, and there's really not that much that HuK can do about it. He needs to get stalkers of his own and defend up this ramp.
Yeah, that was great control. He actually did not get hit once from those zealots, and here we go. KiwiKaki going to try to run up the ramp. Those zealots are going to allow a meat shield there to go ahead and actually repel the attack from KiwiKaki. Does he have anything coming out of that robotics facility? An observer right now. I do not believe any immortals are on the field.
And it looks like that one Phoenix is getting a chance to poke around in the base, and this is going to be very confusing for KiwiKaki. Sometimes players get hallucinate so they can get the Phoenix to do the scout, but instead this is an actual real Phoenix, and KiwiKaki is going to keep trying to push up, but HuK is getting a big army, lots of zealots, lots of stalkers. This Stargate hasn't gotten a chance to do too much more. Oh, look, more Phoenixes coming out for HuK. Very interested to see how these are going to influence his later army mixes.
We talk a lot about nerves here in StarCraft 2 and land jitters. HuK actually had his energy sitting at 100 just a couple seconds ago. He ended up chrono boosting another Phoenix coming out right now. If you go over to KiwiKaki's Nexus, he's sitting at about 40 right now, so nothing too major, but HuK definitely should be utilizing that chrono boost.
And this is a very, very awkward spot right now. For HuK, for KiwiKaki. He's getting a robotics bay, but more Phoenixes are being made. And look at this, this one little observer by KiwiKaki is going to allow him to try to pick off some of these units on the outskirts of the ramp. With these Phoenixes, you have to be careful though, because if one of those stalkers advances a little bit too far forward, it can get lifted up by that graviton shield.
And here comes a nice observer there on that ramp. He's going to be able to snipe some stalkers there. A heavy zealot army right now for HuK, and that's just great use of the observer there, and now he's actually broken up into the ramp. No, he's actually going to retreat back. He's just scouting around right now with that observer.
One Colossus coming out right now for KiwiKaki, but gosh, playing right into HuK's hands. HuK's getting all these Phoenix, and Phoenixes are great against Stalkers. Stalkers' biggest advantage is that they are fast. They can get in there, snipe units, and back out again, but not if they are lifted up in the air. So it looks like HuK is continuing to make Phoenixes. He is just hiding them in the top right side of his base, and oh gosh, KiwiKaki exploiting every little advantage he can, picking off these pylons, and and here comes a big force field, and it looks like he's going to lift those up. Oh, what amazing Phoenix usage. 3 free stalkers here right now. It looks like this stalker might have to get lifted again. Yes, there it does indeed get picked back up. It looks like KiwiKaki is in an extremely awkward situation right now.
Yeah, KiwiKaki did not expect that at all. He lost about 4 stalkers there. He was trying to get down that pylon, didn't even get it to all the shields off, and the Colossus is out on the map right now. Nothing else coming out of that robotics facility, but he does have the extended thermal lance being researched right now, about 50% done, and he's actually falling back with his army.
And look at these unit differences. Both of them have about 6 or 7